Few nights ago, I was woken up by my roommate. There was a missile attack. So we went to the safe room. We've done it many times before. The Houthis from Yemen would constantly send 1 or 2 missiles. It was a drill. It's usually when the Houthis do it, it's a drill. It's kind of boring and no big deal. You go into the safe room, wait it out. The Iron Dome takes care of it. It's more nuisance than anything else. Then my friend looked on the phone, look at the news, see who was attacking, what was going on outside. We usually do more because of boredom, waiting out than anything else. Then I heard my roommate's voice just sunk, like said, "Oh no, Israel had bombed Iran." We knew that what that would mean for people living here and throughout the Middle East. Whether you're Jewish, Muslim, Christian, it was not good news for the average person. So, the war has been going on in this part of the world for quite a while, and the past year and a half, 2 years have been extremely intense, even by Middle East standards. I've actively tried to avoid talking about this on this channel, not because I don't care about the hostages taken October 7th, not because I don't care about the civilian population of Gaza. Anyone who suffers, I care about it. It's kind of part of my personality. But I find online people will latch on to a particular side, and they'll just go at everyone who is not them, and they take human tragedy and use it to go down a rabbit hole of an even more intense hatred for your fellow man. And I don't want to encourage that, not in no way, shape, or form. I don't care what your politics are. I don't care what your views are, but this is something I will say to my TradCaths watching this. There was someone on Instagram, another TradCath influencer, who took the words out of my mouth. We as Catholics faithful to tradition are called to pick souls, not sides. We cannot, regardless of whether or not you are more, or if you're sympathetic to Israel or not sympathetic to Israel, to whatever degree, what you say can do very little, but we are bound to love our neighbor. We are bound to love people in Tel Aviv, Gaza, in Tehran, whether or not they are Jewish, Christian, or Muslim. Jesus said, love your enemies, pray for those who curse you, etc. But Jesus said, love your enemies. Bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you. And honestly, I'm going to talk about what it's like in the middle, right here in Jerusalem, on the ground, in time of war. And I got words of condemnation to TradCaths who are using the conflict here, and Christians in general who are calling on for the death of various sorts of people. Regardless of, I got words for them. So, for starters, this is not about politics. This is about what it's like living here at a time of war. For starters, most Arabs and Israeli Jews get along on a daily basis. I've seen it firsthand. I'll put it this way. If there was not a war going on, the death toll would be the same, largely because they would be giving each other diabetes from the hospitality they tend to give each other. I've had more than often than not, my experiences with Israeli Jews, Muslims, Arab Christians, Israeli Jewish Christians, yes, they exist, even among the TradCaths. I think that they actually are the majority among the TradCaths here. Has been nothing but positive. Excuse me a moment. Sorry about that. There is a little kitten there. that did not want to be rescued. So I'll leave the little guy to it. Yeah, everyone here is actually pretty nice. I'm open about my being TradCath and everything, and look, the local universities, if you go on saying how you hate Arabs, they will expel you. They will kick you out of the university if you go on like that. There are plenty of, if you go into Bethlehem, I've been to souvenir shops in Bethlehem. I've seen them sell mezuzah, Jewish prayer items, in their souvenir shops because so many Israelis go there. At Christmas time, I've seen Israeli Jews go to Santa in Jerusalem, Santa, to celebrate Christmas because they want to hear about it, learn more about it. I have seen Israeli Jews interested in talking about Catholicism and theology, and they bring it up and they're interested in hearing about it. Far more so than back home in Canada. Look, there are crazy people here, but the majority of people here, certainly in Jerusalem, I've had Israelis tell me that elsewhere it's even calmer. That it's actually, most people here are chill and decent to each other. Most of the time. Unfortunately, there are people, both sides, who just make lives of other people miserable and have a vested interest in that ideologically and politically. And in many ways, they seem to dominate in many areas. And that's across the board, all sides. Most people here are pretty good and decent. Now, so to anyone who's a TradCath who's wishing misery, pain, and suffering, I came across someone the other day, last night, in a Facebook group chat. Someone asked me, hey, you want to join this group chat? We're talking about what's going on over in the Middle East, and since you're living there, we want to hear about the perspective of TradCath on the ground. There were two individuals there's one individual claimed to be a TradCath from Quebec who hated the Jews. If you look down on her and her friends' feed, earlier I had posted how they hated Muslims, hated English Canadians, and said how they prayed the rosary for the death of Pope Francis, for King Charles III, and for all the Jewish people and English Canadians. You not see that a man is justified by what he does and not by faith alone. I cannot see how such a person can have salvation, even if they attend Mass every day, even if they pray the rosary fervently. You cannot be saved while hating your fellow man. That is a statement of faith. That is a deity part of the Catholic faith. Most people here, I've seen IDF soldiers praying in the Holy Sepulchre at the Last Supper room. I've seen Arabs do the same. I've seen people, and there's just so many stories I could tell you, versus one or two of mistreatment or unkindness that I've experienced personally, even among religious Orthodox Jews. Again, not saying that criticism of Israel, Palestine, and Iran is fair game. Every nation and all of its policies is fair game for discussion about whether or not it's right or wrong. That's just how it works. No nation is above the law of God, and we need to discuss fairly what these things are. But we need to love everyone with charity, because honestly, most of the people here, overwhelming majority, that is how they act. I'm studying with most people who are mostly Jewish. If they find out you're Christian, the most likely thing that's likely to happen is they're on Passover time, when they have to get rid of the leaven, you get a bunch of free food. That's what will happen. Now, as for what it's like living at this time, living here at this time. It's a weird mix of chill versus stress, if that makes any sense. Israelis, to a certain degree, Palestinians as well, deal with these air raids like people in Canada will deal with like a snowstorm. You turn on the heat, like we turn on the heat full blast. You just don't go outside, drink a cup of cocoa, wait it out. Here they go into the safe rooms. Here they go into safe rooms, wait it out, pray and trust the Iron Dome will work, and they're usually quite chill about it. The safe rooms are quite well made. They have the windows have like concrete, essentially what you could describe as concrete drapes you can pull across, and a door to keep shrapnel out. Though nothing is designed to take a direct hit. Buildings are just not built that way. It is mostly calm. It is mostly calm and chill most of the time, though everything currently is shut down. You cannot leave the country. There are no airplanes coming in and out of Israel right now. None. There are, if you want to go to the old city, you can't. The Western Wall is closed. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre is closed. The Dome of the Rock is closed. And there are guards posted in the city. Unless you live in the old city, they will not let you in. I've known one or two people who were able to get in, with some exceptions. But that is more or less what's going on. Shalom. From what I've heard, even people in the Armenian quarter, who normally are not as concerned as Israelis about the missile attacks, are starting to take it seriously more seriously now from what I've heard. And we've gotten quite a bit. Like a few nights ago, we had 2,000 ballistic missiles coming at us. I have friends who sent footage I have some friends who were like in an apartment below me, and they were able to get some footage of it. And they were able to get some footage. It was kind of scary, I won't lie. Things are starting to get calmed down, I will say. Pardon me again. Sorry about that. I had to try again with the kitten. I'm kind of known a bit. Apparently, got a reputation around where I live as a cat rescuer. But yeah, it is quite intense. Like, I know, especially if you're not from here, you always feel like, is tonight the night I'm gonna die. Also, like, it's very much like COVID. It's very much like COVID, actually, in many ways. Like, this street is usually bustling quite a bit. Not so much anymore. People are mostly staying home. Schools are closed. Churches and synagogues and mosques are all closed. The border with the West Bank is completely shut down. Can't cross over anymore. Travel is generally allowed. Like, I know that the old city is blocked off, but travel is technically allowed throughout Israel, but from what I understand, but it's not really it's not very much encouraged, from what I understand. Most people are staying home, or if they're traveling, they make sure they're near a place where they can get to a bomb shelter as quickly as possible. The bombings usually happen at night, so classes are online, which I actually like. I like online classes better than in person, if I'm honest with you. I find I actually can focus better, my own comfort zone. Got more time to myself. Here, let me see if I can, you can't really see it, but that's the skyline of Jerusalem. I think you can see a bit of the old city. I think in a bit you'll be able to see more of the actual old city, the Holy Sepulchre, which is closed. From what I got some friends in the old city, and they show me pictures of what it's like. And they sent me video footage. It is essentially shuttered shut. There's no sacraments. I would have a normal sacramental life, but it's dry mass for me until things lit up a little bit, or as lit up as they get here. So basically, I'm going to try to pray the Traditio Divine Office online each day, and on Sundays I will be saying the dry mass prayers and the text of the Mass of the day on Sundays and feast days until this lets up. Spiritual confession. I do have blessed holy oil with me from the Milkites, so I'll be attending spiritual rites and renewing my baptism with us frequently. There it is. There's the old city. Not sure if you can see it. There's the Dome of the Rock. And I think you can see, if you can see the grayish dome. I'm not sure if I can see it. Yeah, I don't think you can see it from here. But if you can see a grayish dome, that would be the Church Holy Sepulchre. The dome, large dome, marks the exact place of the resurrection. I've seen the inside lake. The center of the dome goes right over the exact spot in the tomb where Christ's body would have laid. But yeah, it's stressful, and I know there are other people in the Middle East who've got it far worse than I do. I'm well aware of that. And I'm not saying don't pray for them, quite the contrary. I hope you are praying for them. So what I would ask for TradCaths here is whether it's to pray for the salvation of for the salvation of everyone in Iran, everyone in Israel, everyone in Palestine, Gaza, Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, etc. Pray for the safety of everyone, that every single missile gets shot down, and that everyone, and all the countries involved, get to go back and get to live their lives in peace and security as quickly as possible. That is what we are called as Catholics to do. That is not really up for debate or discussion. If you think we are not called to love our neighbors, I would question your orthodoxy as a Catholic. St. John Maria Vianney said that we must love our neighbor in his sermons, quite famously. That is how we can know whether or not we are a true follower of Christ, is if we love our neighbor. We are called as Catholics to pray for one another. So I, as a TradCath, request prayers for my safety and security, my salvation and spiritual being at this time, especially as right now I do not have access to the sacraments. Please pray for this, likewise for the salvation of everyone here and their well-being and safety and security, whether they're Jewish, Christian, or Muslim, whether they live in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Gaza, Tehran, or anywhere else. That is my request to all the TradCaths who may be watching. It is a frustrating night. It is very quiet. It is essentially, I think I may have mentioned before, kind of like, reminds me of COVID, but in some ways stricter, some ways more lenient. Like, there are some cafes open, not many. Some cafes here and there, their stores open, and like, you don't have to do social distancing. But like, yeah, churches are closed. Places we're going together where you would do public gatherings is no longer available. Anyway, that's what it's like. Unfortunately, I'm also going to miss what would have been an SSPX pilgrimage to Jerusalem, which would have happened on Friday. It would have been the first time I've been able to get to an SSPX Mass in person in over a year. So I'm really disappointed for that, for obvious reasons. So please, so SSPX pilgrims, if you ever come here again and a local said, please, I can come at this time, please make sure Mass is at that time. So please pray for the SSPX pilgrimages to resume here. I got people here who are interested in going to SSPX Masses, actually, who are trad and doctrinally fully, and who are anti-modernist. So please pray for them and pray for me. God bless. Have a great day. Please check in SSPX Church and pray for Jerusalem. Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedictus et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus, sancta mea mater Dei, pro nobis peccatoribus nunc et nostri, amen. Turn our ask unto all crusader kings who are in purgatory without any exception whatsoever, Lord. Restoration upon them. May their souls and all the faithful depart in mercy. God rest in peace. Amen. Domini Patris et Filii Spiritus Sancti. Amen.